Tom Freund here at Songcheck.
My name is Dennen.
Sweet. What should we talk about?
Well, I think we should talk about songwriting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to talk about girl. Hey, this is Tom Freund here with my pal.
My name is Dennen, and this is Songcheck Live. And we're here to talk about songwriting.
That's right.
We're both songwriters.
What we think we know about it.
So, this is really special for me because as a songwriter and a fan of music, Tom is one of my favorite songwriters. So
That's
it's
kind
really,
words, homie.
really cool to be here talking with
Thank
you
you.
about songwriting, which is probably, my favorite thing to do. Write a song.
And likewise, being here with Brett, this is, we met on playing several tours this summer, several shows and stuff, and we just kind of hit it off. I was like, who is this guy? You know?
Yeah, Tom told me that something like how it's been a while since you've heard new music that you really,
That's right.
really dug. And
Yeah. So
I feel the same way about a lot of new music that's out there.
yeah.
I think one thing that sets me apart and you apart from other songwriters is I think we both do something that's pretty authentic, original. It's different than a lot of the stuff that you hear out there, and I think it's because I don't know. I think we both go for stuff that's straight from the heart.
Yeah.
Stuff that's true.
And I think that's what we respond to when you're listening and in a club setting, which could be often times laborious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can really uplifting when someone's delivering from the heart. It's a whole different trip. It makes the night completely different.
So, I was thinking maybe we could talk about how do you write a song that's like from the heart?
Right.
I mean, I know how I do it, but how do you explain that to somebody
Yeah, it's interesting.
out there listening?
It's interesting, right? Because you sometimes it comes with like a lyrical flourish. You get something, maybe some sort of message that you want to expound upon, something that just came into your head, like a trigger phrase.
Like something pops into your head?
Yeah, something pops in your head, and you're like, wow, I gotta spread that out. I gotta put that on paper and flush it out, you know, or grab your guitar or your piano, or whatever, and kind of strum through it and see what other words might pop into your head, what other riffs may pop into your head, right? It's really hard to explain that.
It's hard to
process
explain.
anyone.
Well, like I know what you mean about the thing about something popping in your head. Like I wrote a song called She's Mine, and that's how that song came about. I was driving, like, maybe I was coming back from a gig. I don't know where I was coming, but I was driving into the parking garage at my girlfriend's apartment, and it's like this gate that comes up.
Yeah.
And it's like this garage that you go into, and it's one of those garages where everything's really loud in there, and every move you make is like echoey. And somewhere from the gate opening to finding my spot in the parking lot, I came up with the hook, "She's mine," and that was all I had. She's mine,
Right.
and I liked it so much. I thought
Stuck
it was
in your
so
head.
good. It stuck in my head, and I was like, okay. So then what do? I write a song around that hook, because that's pretty much the hook of the song. That's half of the chorus is that line. And then when I went to sit down to write a song, it's like, well, how long can I just like beat this muse down?
Yeah.
Like, because the muse comes, and if you're there to catch it and write as much as you can, then that's great. But if you're talking like a day later or a couple days later, then what are you going to do if you don't have that inspiration? So when I sat down,
you get bits and pieces sometimes, right?
You get bits and pieces,
I
but
have
like
things on the table that sit there for a month with like reading 3 books at a time or something.
yeah, you have the
You're just
idea,
kinda-
and you can take yourself to that place.
But maybe you don't do it that way. Maybe you actually finish one.
I don't.
I
Rarely,
sometimes have a lot of ideas that I just like, and when
no,
is this song?
sometimes it takes years.
When might this song actually? When can I call it completed and put it on a record or whatever, or play it live or?
Well, yeah, I want to get to that in a second, but I want to. Well, okay. With She's Mine, like I had that hook, and then I wrote the lyrics around it later.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about with when do you call the song done? Because isn't that a trip? Like,
yeah.
I'll work on a song for like 2 years,
yeah.
and I still won't like it.
No, is it ever done?
But then a day later, another song comes through, and I write it in a day,
yeah.
and it's awesome. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
wow, why was this song so easy to write? And how have I been laboring over this song for 2 years?
And I don't think it's true. Some people say that the songs that come the easiest are the best. I mean, that may be true. Sometimes stuff flows through and you spit it. Like my song "No Turning Back" came out. A lot of people relate to that song, and that song came out very quickly for me. It just kind of flowed right through me and came out in a matter of 12 minutes or whatever, and there it was. And some people really relate to that. But I also think you can get the same reaction from some people if you've been laboring over it maybe for 2 years,
Sure.
chipping away at a song, and you finally get it. So I don't think there's an actual a yerba break.
No, well, every song shouldn't be compared to another song, especially from the person who wrote it. You can't, like, people ask me all the time, how do you write songs? Well, every song is different. Some songs come, like, you know, I've heard, like, Neil Young, I've heard him say many times, the way he writes is he just waits for inspiration to come. And a lot of times lately, over the past 10 years or so, it's always been around like a full moon. He waits for inspiration to come on a full moon, and when it comes, he dedicates he prepares for it. It takes like a month to prepare or whatever. And he doesn't like, when he's hanging around the house, he doesn't like go, I'm working on this song, and like just sit around and practice and work on it. He catches it and he tries to get it in the most purest form that it comes through, and he knows he's done it right if he hasn't done a lot of editing.
Yeah.
And he was doing that back in the day with CSNNY. Like he wrote like Cinnamon Girl and some other great song in an hour. Or he wrote like For Dead in Ohio in like 20 minutes right after.
And then some albums he did like that too. You ever listen to On the Beach?
No.
On the Beach album feels like that process is happening on tape. Like some of these verses kind of dribble on, but they're brilliant. Like it's brilliant meandering on a record. Like it's almost like that album to me may be the most music as a songwriter developing on a record that I could think of. You can tell he's just writing a song on the tape that day, and boom.
Yeah.
Out to package me up.
And that's brilliant because it's coming through, it's raw, the muse hasn't been interfered at all.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said for editing. There's something to be said for not just editing, but honing in, crafting, let's say refining. And that's why I personally love Paul Simon so much.
Oh, man.
Because, so here you have...
True legend.
You have the era. You have the era where there's like Bob Dylan, who in my opinion, is the greatest, arguably one of the greatest living songwriters ever. And then you have Paul Simon, who, in my opinion, gets that same acknowledgement. Not to say that these are the two guys and that they're competing.
John Lennon, Moon.
John Lennon, Van Morrison's out there,
Neil
and
Young,
Bob Marley.
Bob
Marley just shoots up through all of them and like redefines everything.
Yeah, but Joni Mitchell, Northern Star, kind of.
But I'm bringing these two up because
heavies.
Because Dylan to me represents boom. I'm just gonna let it flow. A lot of lyrics. It's just gonna come out, and my songs are long. And to me, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of editing. There might be though. Maybe his craft is so evolved that it's done in a way where you don't notice it. But then there's like Paul Simon, who's everything seems like it's been worked over and it's been crafted, and like there's nothing in there he doesn't need. And that, I mean, to me, that's so brilliant. That's what makes him stand so far above everyone else.
And he'll even get crafty like that, even when it's a silly lyric, like, you can call me Betty, I can call you Al. Whatever. Yeah. He's brilliant because he can still sort of goof around, and yet it's edited and like crazy and perfect. He's like fun still. Yeah. Because the other side of it may be like too edited, too thought about is like not fun.
Yeah, like
Simon still has
think of the line 4 in the morning, crapped out and yawning.
Sweet.
Like what? He didn't have to use the word crapped out, but he did.